Hi, everybody. Really good to meet all of you. Purpose of this video is to give you a brief overview of the DigitalEx platform. I wanted to start with kind of where we fit in a typical enterprise customer's architecture. If you take a look at this one slide, you'll see on the left sort of what most of our customers have. It's a multi-cloud, hybrid cloud environment. They have some mix of public cloud vendors like Amazon, Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud, and then they have typically some on-prem IT assets as well. There's some colo data center assets that they're managing. DigitalEx basically sucks in all the cost and usage information from all of those clouds, puts them into our data lake, and allows us to manipulate and derive insights from that data. We're going to discover all the resources. We're going to forecast your spend with our machine learning technology. We're going to be able to allocate those costs per BU, per geography, per application. And probably most importantly, we're going to be able to optimize those costs. We're going to look at where do you have cost leakage, where do you have capacity sitting idle, and save. Our customers typically save anywhere from 25 to 45% of their costs kind of off the top. There's other vendors in this space, so just wanted to, on the right, kind of show you why do we win? Why do customers choose us? One is we have a cloud compare feature, and this is a technology we're investing heavily in. This is a technology that's going to allow a customer to look at all their workloads at a per cloud level and understand where would this workload run more efficiently. We will ultimately be able to make recommendations like run this AI workload, move it from Azure to your private cloud. And maybe there's another workload that's currently running on Amazon that will say you should move to Azure, right? So the idea is that we want to give you data to allow you to understand what's the optimal cloud per workload, and then either allow you to move that workload or allow you to renegotiate with your hyperscaler provider for better rates. Two is we support public and private. This is really important. So if you go back to the left of the slide, you see Amazon, Azure, Google. But the fourth thing that we add here is private cloud and on-prem assets. So this is really important. We think if all you're doing is looking at your public cloud assets, you're missing a significant part of the cost and a significant part of the infrastructure. Third is cost advantage. If you look at some of the incumbents in the space, they charge 2 to 3% of your cloud spend. That can be a very, very large number. We have architected our product to run at scale far more cost effectively. And what that really means is we can allow our product to run at 0.5% of spend while still maintaining healthy margins for DigitalEx. So it's not about just lowering your costs. It's about being able to run at a lower cost, and we pass those savings on to our customers. So kind of hope that makes sense architecturally where we fit. Want to spend the rest of the time actually showing you the product. So if you look today, this is sort of our splash screen. When you log into DigitalEx, you're going to see something like this. And what I'd say is right now you're looking at a sample data set. So don't get overly hung up with the numbers here. These are relatively small dollar amounts. It's just for illustrative purposes, just to show sample data. Before I get into the screen, let me show you sort of our navigation menu. So you're going to see three main areas of navigation: inform, optimize, and operate. Inform is about giving you visibility into what's happening today. What costs are you incurring? Where are you incurring them? On what platforms? What resources are you running? What data centers are online? It's just a picture of here's what's happening today. Optimize is where we give you recommendations to save money. That may mean turn off some resources. That may mean move something from one cloud to another. That may mean sign up for an AWS savings plan. There's a variety of recommendations we can give you, but it's all around we've looked at your cost data, we've looked at your usage data, and now here's what our machine learning is saying you should do, right? You should make some changes to save money. And again, the goal, 25 to 45%, depending on the customer. And then operate. Operate's about sort of governance of your cloud infrastructure. So compliance, right? There's a variety of compliance standards that we can help customers conform to. Security, cybersecurity is always important. Are you exposed somewhere? Is there some action you should take to close a security hole? And then budget. How do I set budgets, and how do I make sure I'm running within budgets, again, at a per geography, per application, per business unit level? And then reports and admin just give you a variety of technical tools. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on reports and admin today. I'm going to start with cost. So if you look at cost here, you're going to see a variety of widgets on this page. On the upper left, you're going to see your total cost month over month, and what's the trend line. You're going to see your top accounts. And one thing I'd say about all these widgets is they're very, very easy to configure. So you can change what you're looking at. You can change what type of graphical representation is it. You can change what time frame it runs on. So all of that's highly configurable. But right now I'm just showing you the default. So you can look at your top accounts, including data center. So you'll see for this data set, the majority of the costs are coming from data center, on-prem and not cloud. You're going to see what are the top services consuming spend. Where's that spend coming from? Like what geographic location? You can see that both in this pie chart, and you can also look at that on the map. And one thing I'd say about all these widgets is they're clickable. If you click on, let's say here, it's going to change the context of the screen. So all you're going to look at is the cost and resources running in this geography. So it's all sort of clickable and drill downable. And then, probably I'll jump to this chart. This is probably where a lot of our customers spend most of their time here, is the cost chart. And you can see here spend month over month, split across Google, AWS, Azure, and VMware on-prem. And then we're also going to give you this gray bar. This is the forecast. So going forward, here's what our machine learning is predicting you spend. And this isn't just a simple average over the last several months. This is really what's happening based on seasonality, consumption, growth. We're learning how you're growing and consuming, and we're intelligently predicting where you're going to go. And this is something that can be very, very useful for customers to predict, hey, I have an application and the load is growing quickly. What will it be in 3 months or in a year? And they can budget accordingly. And then down below, you're going to see all the different line items that make up that cost. And you can click into any one of these and you can get detail. So from cost, I'll go to resources. And resources is sort of the other side of the coin. Cost showed you everything from a dollars perspective. This is going to show you technically here are all the resources running. It's very, very similar. You can look at it on a per geography basis. You can look at what are the top resources consuming costs, and you can look at the individual line items. And really the combination of cost and resources is what gives us our power to be able to inform our machine learning-based recommendations. If we go to recommendations, we're going to be able to show you some cost savings. And we sort of have 3 categories of cost savings. Orphaned resources here at the top are resources that are essentially sitting idle by definition. It could be disconnected disks. It could be something like that you can safely shut it off and save money. There's no risk. Idle resources are resources that we've detected are being very, very lightly used. Maybe 1% or 2% consumption. You almost definitely can turn them off. You probably need to do a little bit of research, but probably you can safely turn them off. And then right-size resources are resources where you've over-provisioned hardware, right? Like you have a resource that is maybe needing 20% of the CPU, and maybe you can get away with a lot cheaper hardware and run that resource at similar performance and just save money. So there's a variety of savings that we can offer here. We also offer what I talked about before is some intelligent data on reserved instances and service plans. So as probably a lot of you know, the hyperscalers do give you tools to lower your spend as you make commitments. So what we're looking at here is what % of your spend is being covered by either a reserved instance or savings plan. So you can see here in this data set, only less than 52% of the spend is being covered by savings plan. That really translates into there's a lot of cost leakage here. We generally recommend our customers try to get to about 90% coverage. You don't probably ever want to get to 100% just because you're going to have some spikes and some dips, and you need to be able to manage those spikes and dips. But assuming you have relatively consistent consumption, you want to get to 90-ish% coverage from a reserved instance and savings plan, and you'll just save money. You're just going to get better unit economics from the hyperscalers. Probably the last thing I'll talk about here are budgets. So budgets are things obviously very important, and particularly our finance folks really, really value this. So you can look at this from a per BU, per application, per geography level, and you can look at here's my current spend, here's my budget per month, and I can set alerts as your spend goes above a certain budget line item. An alert can get triggered either through email or through Teams or through Slack that, hey, you're tracking to get above budget, go take action. And this feature is actually near and dear to my heart. Prior to working at DigitalEx, I was the COO of a SaaS business. We ran all of our infrastructure on AWS. We were always surprised by our AWS bills. We targeted about $100K of spend per month. there were multiple months that came in over 250K. And for a small business like us, that swamped us. What we would have done if we had this functionality available is set an alert, set a budget and set an alert. Once forecasted spend is trending to go over the budget, alert me so my engineering team can take action before we actually exceed the budget line item. So I hope that helps. There's obviously a lot of power in the system that we didn't discuss, but wanted to just give everybody a brief overview. If you'd like to learn more about DigitalEx, please contact us. And again, my name is Sandeep Goel. Thank you.